Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. We're here today with Bretonnia, gonna be taking on Foul Clan Pestilence, so let's get straight to it. My force is gonna be led by Gotrek, Felix, and the Fae, of course. Got lots of peasants, men-at-arms, some mobs, a couple of archers as well, two Royal Hippogriff Knights for our Terror Squad, and as you saw, some Pegasus Knights in Vanguard. Not Royal, just the regular Pegasus Knights. As for my Skaven opponent here, Styx has got Skrulk on foot, Rat Ogres with the Hell Pit, very solid here, Rattling Gunners, and you can see these Warp Fire Throwers just about to get charged down by Pegasus Knights for a quick hit and run here. He's going to try and respond with those Rattling Gunners and the Council Guard, but I'm going to get out of dodge before he can. Also got, more Warp Fire Throwers, Tail Slashers, pretty decent stuff. You can see we're getting the engagement of champions underway. Rats fighting peasants. This is what you all came to see here. The ogres charging in, getting a good charge here. Gonna probably get a pretty favorable engagement in that front line there. Meanwhile, the Fae comes up, starts to drain this blob here. Kind of helps soak things there. Felix and Gotrek also getting in. Oh yeah, here we go. This is what we want to see. Is these three killing rats, right? Very nice. There we go, Felix gets a shot in. Meanwhile, the Rat Ogres are starting to push through in the back line. They've broken the mobs. I'm going to follow up with men-at-arms here, and the mobile response squad of the Hippogriffs is going to drop down here. And, you know, although they're not necessarily designed to counter, you know, it's armor-piercing, not really pertinent against Rat Ogres. Just being able to nuke a unit like this, just massive alpha strike. We've got Shield of Thorns for physical resistance, so we don't take too much damage in this fight here. And you can see those Rat Ogres just get absolutely wrecked by the massive weapon strength of those Hippogriff Knights there. So, yeah, the extra weapon damage, of course, from Shield of Thorns, awesome as well. Meanwhile, in the frontline engagement, the Hell Pit Abomination has done quite a bit of damage to the Fae. I've had to pull her back, but Gotrek and Felix still fighting tooth and nail here in the center. Yeah, where are they at? Right here. Getting some good attacks in on these Rat Ogres, just completely surrounded at this point, but Gotrek, yeah, should be able to get some attacks. There we go. Drops a Rat Ogre right there. So he'll be able to continue on for the time being, though. These Pegasus Knights had dropped down, got onto these Rat Ogres, took some nasty damage from these Warp Fire Throwers. You can see they're doing a little bit of friendly fire, literally. But we are able to rout those Rat Ogres and get back up in the air, so pretty decent stuff. The Hippogriff Knights come into the front line engagement, try and bail out Gotrek and Felix a little bit and do a bunch of damage to the Hell Pit Abomination, but this isn't necessarily the greatest engagement for me. I don't want to stay here for too long. Definitely need these Hippogriff Knights to be able to terror rout a lot of the units out in the periphery. Bit of a swing and a miss there on the Comet, but no big deal. You look in the back line, a lot of my units are being routed by summoned Clan Rats here, which the Clan Rats will eventually degenerate, obviously, but still they're going to be able to chase a lot of my units off very effectively there. Warp Fire Throwers just roasting peasants here. Absolute brutality. That's honestly what they deserve. I mean, they are just peasants after all, right? But yeah. Got Pegasus Knights out in the periphery, chasing routing units. We're chasing the Rat Ogres, chasing the Rattling Gunners, making sure that those, you know, kind of higher value damage units for the Skaven can't come back. Meanwhile, the blob fight's underway. These peasants haven't been able to get in here and get on these Warp Fire Throwers, not really preventing them from firing too much, but thankfully that's mostly, you know, Skaven blob that they're trying to fire into there. They are getting some hits on Felix, but probably doing some friendly fire also. But we're just going to stay mobile, try and pick out isolated units wherever we can, like this unit of Warp Fire Throwers. Oh yeah, absolutely brutal as the Hippogriff Knights charge in, doing a ton of shock damage, just absolutely wrecking face on this weapon team here. You can see they get torn apart almost instantly there, and that's pretty good stuff. Meanwhile, Felix having a hard time holding his leadership together. Oh yeah, he's here fighting the one Plague Monk. Here we go. Oh yeah, I didn't even finish him off. The Master Plague Monk comes over, though, with his flail. Skrulk going to get in and actually contaminate Felix. Does a couple of pretty good hits on him. Gotrek's running over to try and save his buddy here, but Felix is actually going to get routed off. That being said, Gotrek comes in and gets a huge hit on Skrulk. If we keep the HP bars up here, you can see Skrulk going to take a hit there. Take another massive hit right there. A big double attack, and Skrulk gets thrown to the ground. And suddenly things are not looking too hot for old Skrulky boy, and obviously with the loss of leadership, the Skaven are going to start to run into some issues. We also have plenty of Hippogriffs and Pegasi still on field as well. You can see these Pegasus Knights just finished off, what is this, Warp Fire Throwers here. And the Council Guard are now going to be a little bit isolated from the rest of this force. They unfortunately were not in a position to give Skrulk that physical resistance that he so much needed. And yeah, the Pegasus are going to kind of pull back up in the air here. And although, you know, dropping straight onto a halberd unit, yes, is risky, but with 2 Hippogriff Knights, it's so much stopping power that the halberd's going to melt pretty quick, especially with Favor of the Fae on one of these Hippogriff Knights, up to 90 melee attacks, so they're going to be guaranteed hits, more or less. And we drop the Shield of Thorns as well for some extra physical resistance. Here comes the Comet. You can see the Pegasus Knights drop down to the Rat Ogres there on the side of this engagement here. Absolutely beautiful. This is what we like to see. Oh yeah, that Comet straight in the middle there. Doesn't do much to the Hippogriffs, but does a ton of damage to the Council Guard there. So great stuff. Faenchantress, only 21 kills, but has done a ton of damage, done a ton of healing as well. The Hell Pit Abomination currently fighting. I think Gotrek actually went down fighting the Hell Pit here. I'm not sure. I don't see his banner still on the field. Felix, is that Gotrek? Nope, just peasant mobs. Yeah, I believe Gotrek actually went down fighting the Hell Pit. But Felix going to try and avenge his buddy here, the Faenchantress, and the Knights of Bretonnia. Worthy sacrifice for Gotrek there, taking out the nasty Lord Skrulk and doing a ton of damage to this Hell Pit as well. So here come the Hippogriff Knights. Again, not really designed to counter the Hell Pit Abomination, but just the fact that it's like multiple monstrous units all fighting him at the same time. It's going to be pretty tough. You can see here we just terrify away the Tail Slashers with the multi-charge from the Pegasus Knights and the Hippogriff Knights there. And the balance power has shifted pretty decisively in my favor as we're just about able to finish off the Skaven here. Hell Pit's going to continue fighting. Here comes the Faenchantress, a nice charge from the Pegasus Knights as well. Pegasus Knights actually, because of their high charge bonus and anti-large bonus and everything, will do quite well against the Hell Pit Abomination there. So yeah, you can see pretty much it. Only the Unbreakable Council Guard remain, failing in their duty to protect Lord Skrulk. But that's alright. It's going to be victory for Bretonnia. So well played to my opponent's sticks there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching. Definitely a fun battle. His build, you know, the Warp Fire Throwers, we were kind of discussing. It's the reason you bring it here is because that plus the contamination effect from Lord Skrulk will rout Bretonnian infantry off almost instantly. I do think 2 is maybe a little bit too much. Maybe you just go with 1, and on the secondary unit, I don't know. There's some different things you could do. You could try and take potentially like a Doom Wheel. He also didn't have Howling Warp Gale on that Warlock Engineer, which obviously would have allowed him to control my flying units a little bit more effectively. Anytime you're going Skaven against Bretonnia, you always want to have that Howling Warp Gale. But yeah, pretty fun stuff overall. For my build, you can see obviously the air unit's doing heavy lifting, 66 kills, 2 XP chevrons, super cost effective for 1100 point regular Pegasus Knights. I'm a huge fan of these guys right now. 11 points, 68 and 80 for the 2 Hippogriff Knights with some chevrons to go around. Peasants kind of got ran over. One of them, though, 71 kills on a Men-at-Arms and 52 on a Peasant Mob. How about that, huh? That must have chased down some routing Skaven slaves or something. But yeah, very impressive. Speaking of impressive, 102 for some Skaven slave spears, 78 for these guys, 116 for clan rats. So yeah, the low-tier infantry just absolutely butchering each other, which is fine. Gotrek sacrificing himself to take down the Hell Pit. Hell Pit's definitely a very, very solid pick here. Bretonnia, yeah, let's just talk a little bit more about this matchup in general from the Skaven side. Bretonnia does have a little bit of a hard time taking down the armored single entities, so like, for example, Doom Wheels can be a bit of an issue. Ikit Claw is quite strong here because his Doom Wheel does extra missile damage, and because he can be relatively hard for Bretonnians to take out. Take Warp Lightning and Howling Warp Gale both. Warp Lightning you can use to damage enemy cavalry. Howling Warp Gale, obviously, to control the skies. Probably take this Storm Demon as well. I mean, it's not that great, but it's a little bit of extra damage on him. And then even taking a second Doom Wheel, like with this ROR Wheels of Doom, because, again, does extra missile damage. Going to be pretty hard for Bretonnia to kill. And then from there, you can kind of build around that. I'd probably want at least one Lore of Plague casters. So for our third single entity, we're going to go with a Plague Furnace. Again, high armor. The stats aren't the best, but the animations do make it quite hard to kill. And we're definitely going to want at least the Clan Rat Summon, if nothing else, on this guy. You could also take Bless with Filth if you have the extra points. For now, we're going to forego that. Actually, you know what? Let's grab Bless with Filth. Let's cut the lore attribute there. Grab that. So that's looking pretty decent so far. You could take, just to finish things off, a cheaped out assassin with just the trophy heads, or not, sorry, not the trophy heads, assassin's trophy, just to debuff Lewin if he tries to come down. And from there, you've got probably a couple rat ogres. I might even take a unit of flayers as well. Natty Boobos, probably okay here. And then obviously we need some chaff for the front line. Something like this. Get a couple of these guys. The Council Guard are also pretty good in this matchup. I might want to take them as well in this build, so maybe try and squeeze some things around to be able to take them here. I'm not really sure. Maybe cut the Flayer. The Flayer is going to be pretty good, though, with this little bicycle squad. But, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe you cut the Natty Boobos. Although you do need some missile pressure of some kind. Yeah, I'm not really sure, because, I mean, we could come in here and grab the Council Guard at this point. I don't know, I'm kind of just rambling at this point, but this is the process I go through to make builds, right? But just something like this, with the core of Ikit, the Plague Priest, the second Doom Wheel, you're going to be good to go, you know, kind of from the outset there. You can kind of build around that as you see fit. Like, you could even come here and just go even cheaper on infantry, and that might leave you enough points to maybe grab another skirmish unit, like we just about have enough to grab a unit of Rattling Gunners, and that will be quite useful to have the suppression debuff alongside the Bless with Filth. You can use them in tandem to get a significant speed debuff on your opponent, so something like this might be pretty solid. You don't have any long-range missiles, but you can definitely rush pretty hard with these Doom Wheels, and it's going to be tough for Bretonnia to take on. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, but hopefully you guys enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.